Hello everyone and welcome to Gaming Through the Years, where we take a look back at older games that deserve some attention, or games that deserve to be stepped on, shattered to pieces, before digging a hole and burying it in the field never to be seen again for the sake of humanity. Today we are going to be looking at Kickboxing Knockout, or Kickboxing as it was called over in the good old USA. A fighting game published by A1 Games and developed by Jordan in the simple series 1500 of games, which were basically low-budget video games based around sports and the likes of racing, golf and kickboxing. The game does follow on from another simple series 1500 game that goes by All-Star Boxing, or just boxing as it's known in America, and I don't mean to sound mean, but Jesus Christ. You'd think a little effort would have went into naming the games in America than simply naming the sport it's based on. Come on guys, it's not that hard. I know it was a low budget and all, but still, try and get a little creative. Kickboxing Knockout has a handful of modes that you can sink your teeth into, from a ranking mode which is basically your standard arcade mode. Pick a fighter and make it through the fights that are before you, while trying to get the highest score you can manage. You then have the story mode, which is definitely interesting in the way you make your way through it. You start off by selecting one of two characters and then choose a fight to take part in. Once you beat your opponent, you then play as them, which is a really unique idea. It allows you to play around with each character and see what sort of playstyle you prefer. The story itself can be a bit confusing overall with its lack of a proper direction. However, it encourages you to explore each route to see different story beats. Though you do have to be careful as you only have a limited amount of energy which you use during fights and choosing new fights. There's no actual indication as to what uses up energy in the game, and it can be random at times with how much is used up. And it can be downright frustrating when it uses up more energy than what it should when compared to how much was used in other fights. There is a two-player mode which was in abundance back in those days when you could simply sit down with a friend and play some video games together. And like back in the old days, you are required to go through the story to unlock the characters in the game, with a total of 29 characters being in Kickboxing Knockout. There is no tutorial when you begin the game. However, on the main menu screen there is a notes area that goes through the basic moves with the characters you unlock. Every character has basically the same moveset, though their stats are what really make a change to the gameplay. 4 stats describe how the character will play, from power, tough, stamina, and speed. I found myself drifting towards speedy characters the most, due to the fact that you can unleash a flurry of blows through the rush mechanic on your opponent quickly like something out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The rush system is different for each character. There's a number at the bottom corners of the screen and it dictates how much of a combo can be stringed together. Though once you start and then stop, you will have to wait for it to recover before you can let loose a series of punches again. Your moveset consists of a button for punching, a button for kicking, and a button for blocking along with deflecting kicks. There is more, like each character having 2 special moves, one that corresponds to punching and the other that revolves around kicking. It comes together to make a rather fun experience. The game itself isn't the easiest out there, until you learn to abuse the grapple button, which makes fights a great deal easier to play through. The way to win in Kickboxing Knockout is quite simple. Knock out your foe by getting the orange health bar down to nothing where any strike can KO them instantly. And wearing down the blue health bar will only allow a fighter to possibly gain that much health back during the break between rounds. There's actually quite a lot of depth to the game if you go looking for it. Though sometimes I found near impossible to do, the deflecting of kicks is one such thing, where pure luck is what had me stop a kick and unbalance my opponent. I never fully understood the timing of when the deflection would work, so I never used it as it just ended up getting me a small beating. The game does have mild issues though, its biggest one being hit detection. Sometimes it was just absolutely ridiculous to the point of not even touching the other fella I'm fighting but still lands a clean blow in the game. Like seriously, imagine if something like this happened in real life.
How the hell did that happen?
game itself looks okay for a game that came out in 2002, and I might be very generous with that statement. But it has a rather bland presentation overall. Nothing really pops. Some of the character designs are actually pretty cool to look at. From clowns to lizard men, and a big Egyptian god kickboxing fighter guy. I don't know what it is, but it's neat. The rings you fight in are simple to the eyes and are quite forgettable, and simply serves the function of a place to fight people in. Though facial expressions are quite something.
I've had diarrhea for 4 weeks. I can't take it anymore.
And why the heck does Conor McGregor seem to pop up in every fighting game now and again? The music feels like it could come from really any game. It's not quite distinctive to stand out on its own. But I do have to say it was rather charming to listen to and got me in an upbeat mood to kick and punch my opponents until they were KO'd. Overall, Kickboxing Knockout is actually a pretty solid game that could have been really bloody good if it had more polish. The foundation is there, and it's a shame it didn't get the finishing touches it needed. The gameplay is fun with enough depth there to keep you playing to fully get an understanding for the game's mechanics. The way the story mode plays out is a rather interesting way that I haven't seen any other fighter do before, but makes the story slightly disjointed until you have played most matchups it has to offer. If you're interested in fighting games, this might be one you want to consider adding to your collection. So, Kickboxing Knockout is a good game. Not great, and not bad, just good. If you like this review, why not check out what we do, from podcasts, first looks, and reviews. If you think there's any retro game that deserves attention, then write it down in the comment section below. And if you have a game in mind that is downright awful, write them down too. I love a bit of torture, so I do. A special thanks to my friends Breton and Ushin who helped me out on this review. Also, if you want to see the Republic of Players crew, we will be at Insomnia this weekend. So, if you see us, come and say hi. Well, that's everything. I've been Pat Carey from the Republic of Players, and until next time, stay classy.
Deku style.
I'll just get that sound effect. You'll do like the sort of jet engine setting up.
Now you have to say it like an old Japanese man.
United States of America. United States of Smash.
Oh my god, that was so loud. You could have told me you were going to scream.
I did tell you I was going to scream.
Not in my ear.